John.
Hi,
Hi,
John.
Sharon.
Hi, Frank. I saw you enjoying Cynthia's poem the other night.
That was awesome, wasn't it? I could
Wasn't it
relate
great?
to every line.
It was so
Good.
great.
Yeah,
Cynthia
it
did a
was good.
poem about gardening, and she was all over it. It was great.
It was really great.
Everybody.
Everybody, we are now live streaming
John.
on
Hi,
YouTube.
John.
Sharon.
And
Hi, Frank. I saw you enjoying Cynthia's poem the other night.
That was awesome, wasn't it? I could
Wasn't it
relate
great?
to every line.
It was so
Good.
great.
Yeah,
Cynthia did a poem about gardening, and she was all over it. It was great.
It was really
all right,
great.
everybody. So let's get this wonderful show that we have started.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know,
Everybody.
hi, I'm Neil. Everybody, we are now live streaming on
We are
YouTube.
Sharon.
Hi, Frank. I saw you enjoying Cynthia's poem the other night.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
Wasn't it
We're hearing the live stream, I think.
great?
yeah.
Is that what it is? About
Yeah,
gardening.
live stream.
She was all over it. It was great.
It was really
Somebody's
All
playing
right,
the
great.
live
everybody.
stream, I think.
So let's get this wonderful show that we have started. Okay.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, hi, I'm Neil. Everybody, we are now live streaming on YouTube.
You're number
I
12.
think you need to shut your computer thing down.
Yeah, I think we took care of that just now. Thank you all for your compassion and patriotism. I'm slow at this. What can I say? I do want to welcome each and every one of you to our Rosendale open mic for this night of June 8th, 2020. So many of us would like to be together at our facility where we all call home. One of the things I do want to do before we start is thank each and every one of you for everything you've gone through this whole COVID time, before that, and now during so many other things going on in our country. And I do want to thank the people who we have that have gone through so much of what we've done. And I've had some of these little masks made up. In the color of vROM. I can't get it on right, but it says Rosendale open mic, as you can probably tell, I hope. And these are going to be going to some of the people who, within our own community, have been survivors, who are so much a part of our community. And I just want to thank them for surviving, and also in tribute to those we've lost. We're going to have a great show tonight. And we're just going to get going with it right now. Mike, did you have anything more you wanted to say? Delaney?
Yes, we don't have unmute all anymore. So after each performer, if you would like to show your appreciation, you need to unmute yourself.
Right.
Otherwise, we won't. And when it gets to be your turn to perform, we're going to mute everybody, and then you need to unmute yourself so that you can perform. So keep that in mind when you're up.
Yeah. Does everyone understand that? Any questions?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Neil,
Yes.
you were supposed to make me a co-host.
Okay. Stand by. We'll do that after. Stand by. Okay, you're now a co-host as well, Ken. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you. All right. So without further ado, let us begin our show. The one and the only, our dear friend Barry Spyro. Everyone, let's hear for Barry Spyro. Woo! Good, everybody, and then Barry, count to 5 and take it away. You have to unmute yourself, Barry.
Okay.
Or Marjorie.
Hello, Barry Spyro here, and following my Mando's directions, I will just play my music and not talk at all. It's called Two Hearts, a wedding song. I played the last couple of weeks songs about people that passed, but now this is going to be more uplifting, a wedding song. two hearts together, two hearts to treasure, two hearts for pleasure, two hearts forever. They stroll along the beach, holding hands. Waves roll in over and making the sand. They gaze at each other, seeming to understand, for they have become all that they can. Two hearts together, two hearts to treasure, two hearts for pleasure, two hearts forever. She's chosen her path after many turns, new phase of her life. She will now learn with a partner to travel and understand with a smile on her face, facing life's demands. Two hearts together, two hearts to treasure, two hearts for pleasure, two hearts forever. And he will join her to travel along as they begin their journey and sing their life songs. United they stand as husband and wife, taking on the world and all of its strife. Two hearts together, two hearts to treasure, two hearts for pleasure, two hearts forever. And I, as their father, will say, go forth, my children, carve out your way, for you need to show the way for all of the world starting their way. Two hearts together, two hearts to treasure, two hearts for pleasure, two hearts forever.
Beautiful, Barry. Awesome.
Hey, Barry.
Lovely.
Fantastic.
That was wonderful, Barry. I remember a couple of years ago when you wrote that song, too.
Great. I love that song, Barry.
Yeah.
Well,
We miss hearing Barry more often, but this is great. So we can all visit each other like this. It's sort of a different kind of an opening for us. Next in line, we're going to hear our dear friend, and it's not Shanna in a dress, but it's going to be Bo Wiener. So let's hear it for Bo Wiener, everybody.
All right. Can I ask you not to mute everybody? And I want you all to sing along. I don't care if it sounds bad.
Careful what you wish for.
I definitely want you to keep it all on because this song has to be sung and we all have to sing it almost together. Okay?
Hey,
Well, Bo, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Zoom only picks up the loudest person in the room.
That's
So
okay.
you'll only,
Ready?
Read my lips.
I think I'm going to do the mute thing, Bo. We'll sing with you. You'll see us mouthing it, okay?
Power to the people.
Bo, unmute yourself. Sorry. You have to unmute yourself, Bo. Yeah, you got to do that.
Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. revolution. You better get it right away. Got to get on your feet, into the street and sing power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people right on. You say you want a revolution. We all want to be free. It might start with one step. We all gotta take a knee and sing it now. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. One more time. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people right on. Power to the people right on. Power to the people right on.
Hey, Bo! Beautiful.
All righty.
Very timely and appropriate. Very powerful and appropriate song for these days. Thank you, Bo.
Oh,
Then now we're going to move on to your partner. This is like the whole partner gang right here. It just happened that way. Let's hear it for our next performer, the one, the only, our another co-host for tonight, Ken Porter, everyone. Ken Porter.
Ken.
all right, folks. Can you hear me?
Yeah, remember to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm unmuted.
And I'm going to be muting everybody. Just go to count to 5, Ken, and you're on. Unmute yourself. Ken, you need to unmute yourself.
Aha.
There you go.
So I'm going to present the Millis Burfield Band and a song that we presented at vROM. I think it was maybe 6 months ago. And I've tested the file 2 weeks ago. I tried this and it was a total failure. But this time around, I expect this to work. Doodly doodly doo. Just a sec here. Where did it go? Way too many things open. All right. Computer sound. And
he deals the cards as a meditation. Those he plays never suspect. He doesn't play for the money he wins. He don't play for respect. He deals the cards to find the answer. The sacred geometry of chance. The hidden laws of a probable outcome, while the numbers lead a dance. I know that the spades are the swords of the soldier. I know that the clubs are weapons of war. I know that diamonds mean money for this art, but that's not the shape of my heart. He may play the jack of diamonds, or he may lay the queen of spades. He may conceal a king in his hand, while the memory of it fades. I know that the spades are the swords of the soldier. I know that the clubs are weapons of war. I know that diamonds mean money for this art, but that's not the shape of my heart. That's not the shape of my heart. And if I told you that I loved you, you'd maybe think there's something wrong. I'm not a man of too many faces. This mask I wear is one. But those who speak know nothing, find out to their cost, like those who curse their luck in too many places, and those who fear are lost. I know that the spades are the swords of the soldier. I know that the clubs are weapons of war. I know that diamonds mean money for this art, but that's not the shape of my heart. That's not the shape of my heart. That's not the shape of my heart. Shape of my heart.
Nice, Ken. And the Millisburg Phil Band.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Song. Love it.
Ah, that's a great song.
That was nice.
Were you singing it live?
No, but that was recorded by Steve Friedman
Okay.
in at ROM 6 months ago or so.
But you weren't singing your
you're sharing
part
your
live
screen.
tonight.
No.
Okay.
But what I'm not sure is, are you seeing me or are you
No, we're
seeing
seeing your
the screen?
We're seeing the screen.
Okay.
When you can, if you give us back the screen.
Oh, fine.
Yeah. Well,
I-
I know you are. Let's hear it for Ken.
There it is.
He is one of our co-hosts tonight.
Great song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me
Full song, Ken. Beautiful.
Really nice song.
Beautiful.
let me in advance thank our co-hosts tonight, John McHugh, Ken Porter, and of course my dear partner Mike Delaney, who is oddly enough right up next, and he's been my partner.
Woohoo!
This thing we call ROM now for over 11 years. Let's hear it from Mike Delaney, everybody.
Hey, Mike.
So count to 3, 5, Mike, and take it away.
Okay, here I am. Great. So, this is a new song, very new, and I realized that all famous military battles need to be commemorated in a memorable song. And we recently saw the American Carnage played out in front of the White House, and I wanted to capture the scene for history. And you may recognize the melody as Battle of New Orleans, but this is the Battle of Lafayette Square. And it's not a march, it's a stroll. Hop, 2, 3, 4. In June 2020, we took a little stroll to try to get dear leader a bump in the polls. Cadet Bone Spurs convened his inner clan, though Sec Dev Esper said he didn't know the plan. But those peaceful dissenters needed to be whacked, so Attorney General Barr gave the order to attack. We shot pepper bullets, flashbangs, and gas, and any stray protesters got smacked in the ass. We fired at civilians, our tear gas sent them running as we walked from the White House to Lafayette Square. Pepper bullets firing, our boldness stunning, a prop Bible photo shoot without a prayer. 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4. From the bunker in the White House, the orange man emerged. He had to clear a path, all the demonstrators purged. We pushed our way through Lafayette Square to St. John's Church, but there wasn't any prayer. We made it to the church with no casualties sustained, with every peaceful protesters routed or detained. The orange man asked if any packed a Bible. Ivanka's designer handbag was carrying one in style. We fired at civilians, our tear gas sent them running as we walked from the White House to Lafayette Square. Pepper bullets firing, our boldness stunning, a prop Bible photo shoot without a prayer. 2, 3, 4, hop, 2, 3, 4. He took the sacred Bible with fake serious looks, tried out several poses like he never read a book. He held it with 2 hands, then raised it to the sky, and greeted 2 Corinthians who were wandering by. We fired at civilians, our tear gas sent them running as we walked from the White House to Lafayette Square. Pepper bullets firing, our boldness stunning, a prop Bible photo shoot without a prayer. 2, 3, 4. Listen to me, people, 'cause this is super real. You see, King Don's Bible is the art of the steel. You can feel my anger, and I'm sorry if I grouse, but we need to get the bunker bitch out of the people's house. We fired at civilians, our tear gas sent them running as we walked from the White House to Lafayette Square. Pepper bullets firing, our boldness stunning, a prop Bible photo shoot without a prayer. We fired at civilians, our tear gas sent them running as we walked from the White House to Lafayette Square. Pepper bullets firing, our boldness stunning, a prop Bible photo shoot without a prayer.
Hey, right.
Right on, Mike. Woohoo!
So beautiful and so timely, obviously. Great song, Mike.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mike comes up with these incredible songs daily. I don't know how he does it, but thank you so much, my dear Mike.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Next up is going to be our dear friend, Chris Morgan. Let's hear it for Chris Morgan, everybody. All right, Chris, you're ready to go? Well, you're all set. You're all set. And
I'm ready.
So,
I'll unmute myself.
gotcha.
So I'm going to sing an Irving Berlin song that goes back quite a ways. Let's see, I'm going to turn this around so I can, I'm seeing you, Neil, but I'm not seeing myself on the, I'm seeing myself down in the corner, but I guess as long as you can hear me, I'll just go ahead.
Yeah, do you have yourself on speaker view or
Chris, we saw you on in the middle when you spoke.
In the middle? Okay.
Yeah, we see you. I see you
okay,
big.
Great.
Yeah, I have you on.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So, I see it. So this is, as I say, an Irving Berlin song. It's called Blue Skies. And what's interesting about this song is that it's a happy song. about, it's an upbeat lyric, but the chords, half of them are in minor, which gives it this interesting wistful feel, kind of appropriate for where we are these days. So I heard Willie Nelson sing this the other day on the radio, and I thought, what a great song to be doing right about now. So here it is, Blue Skies. Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song, nothing but bluebirds from Ceylon. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by, when you're in love, my how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on. Blue skies time at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song, nothing but bluebirds all day long.
Beautiful, Chris.
I love that song.
Good job.
Beautiful.
Great.
Beautiful song and nice version of that song, Chris. Thanks so much.
Beautiful.
Well, next up, we have our second of two Mels tonight. So Mel Gluskin, are you ready to rock our house? And I'm gonna mute everybody. And move on. We'll Gluskin, Mel, you'll have to unmute yourself, okay?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hear you, and I'm gonna mute all, and there you go.
I'm going for the meet.
Unmute yourself.
You have to unmute yourself, Mel.
Better? How's that?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna. I said I was going for the Meet the Beatles look, half in shadow, and when you offered me a feature in October, I said yes, but it's October 2025. I hope that's not going to be true now. So this is two short Beatles tunes. One's about our president, called "Fool on the Hill," and the other one's about sunnier days. That's it.
Hey, Mel.
Hey, Mel.
Good job. Great job. Hey, Mel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Always great with the Beatles.
Good to be back.
And good to have you back, Mel.
Yeah.
That's
Very nice.
Next up is our first time he doesn't have a background behind him, Tom Maynard. Let's hear it for Tom Maynard, everybody. All righty. I'll meet you all and cheer for Tom.
Actually, Neil, this is a background. Believe it or not. Anyway.
A very good one, Tom.
So I'm going to do an original. This is a song I haven't played. I actually played it at an open mic like last week, but I haven't played a lot because it hasn't felt like it needed to be, but now it does, unfortunately. So this is a song I wrote called The Balance. Where the hell are we going? Where have we been? Seems we're running in circles. Look, we've come round again. You'd think with lessons learned we'd make a different choice. Instead, it seems we've lost our voice. Collective amnesia and laryngitis too. Letting someone else define what's true. Watch the rain come tumbling down to nurture and give birth. But too much rain can flood and drown all the children of the earth. Somewhere there's a wildfire raging for want of all this rain. We have to find a balance once again. Help us find a balance once again. They've got us fearing our shadows. That's how they keep in control. Narrow down our vision and tightening their hold. They keep on reminding us of all we have to lose. With every story on the evening news, they shine their blinding light to dazzle in our eyes, while sleight of hand obscures the lies. Watch the rain come tumbling down to nurture and give birth, but too much rain can flood and drown all the children of the earth. Somewhere there's a wildfire raging for want of all this rain. We have to find a balance once again. Help us find a balance once again. There's a fire raging, it's burning out of control. Injustice is tinder and anger fans the coals. If only a soothing rain could take away the heat. Hatred pounds a violent beat, and vengeance blinds the eye to any other way. chances lost that grief betrays. All chances fading into gray. And love is lost amidst the fray. Watch the rain come tumbling down to nurture and give birth. But too much rain can flood and drown all the children of the earth. Somewhere there's a wildfire raging for want of all this rain. We have to find a balance once again. Help us find a balance once again. Help us find a balance once again.
Beautiful, Tom.
Yeah, very beautiful.
Get to unmute yourself, everybody. There you go. That was wonderful, Tom, as all your songs are. It's just amazing. And I got two things I just want to say before we continue. Number one, our next performers are Dan and Faith Senny, and we have not seen or heard them at vROM. How many years, Dan and Faith? It's 2014, I think. Since you moved.
Forever. It's been a while. Yeah. We've featured a few times, but it's been a long time.
I know it's been a long time. And also, I just want to let you know, I know you've seen on the Sign Up Genius that Jenna in the Dresses was there. And she's now in the house with us all the way from Boulder, Colorado. So let's hear for Shanna in a dress. And we'll hear her at number 21 a little later on. But it's so great to have you, Shanna, from Boulder. And let's now... Oh, it's great to see you, my dear. And I can't wait to hear you. And but we
good to see you, Dan and Faith.
Dan and Faith, and everybody from CMW. I'm sure is something we'd love, and I'll explain, Shanna, a little later on what CMW is, because everybody except me has gone there in this group. So, but we'll go. Let's hear it for Dan and Faith Senny, everybody. All right, let me mute you. All righty, let me pin you. And you are set.
We should be good to go.
We should. And yeah, it's good to see everybody again at his.
Oh, it's so great to see you.
Yeah. We are having some fun with being cooped up here, visiting various open mics to visit friends. Because normally we're out on the road and we haven't seen anybody in a long time.
And now we're cooped up in New Hampshire, which is like way beyond where y'all are anyway. So it's good to see everybody's faces.
But, it's great to see you both, and can't wait to hear you.
We have a new album out, and this song is one of the featured songs on the album.
It seems a little too timely.
Yeah.
Even though it is a memory.
So I'll do a little spoken intro. It was a year of turmoil in the country, riots in the streets, an election year, a war was raging, and the space race. The year was 1968. These are my earliest memories. Seems like we're back there again. Small town life, the Berkshire Hills, the world outside my windowsill, a quiet life, young and carefree, just school and books, afternoon TV, all that changed in '68. World got smaller, filled with hate. Shots rang out in Memphis town. Martin Luther King, dead on the ground. Heard my mother moan, my daddy weep. Me, I cried myself to sleep. Could there ever be peace again? The world outside came crashing in. Big signs on each front lawn. The
Battle lines were clearly drawn. Shots rang out, West Coast Hotel. Bobby Kennedy was dead as well. The TV, it was black and white. Watched it from afternoon till night. Saturdays we'd watch cartoons, but there were body counts on the evening news. It was long ago, but like yesterday. Innocence was swept away. The images seared in my brain. A world of fear and pain. December 1968. Apollo 8 blasted into space. George Low sent him round the moon. Earthrise image filled the room. My parents cried, I did too. Finally, some happy news. A year of pain, a year of hate. Apollo 8 saved 68. It was Christmas Day, and a telegram from a stranger read, Apollo 8 saved 68. True stories.
Beautiful Dan and Faith. That was great. Great to have you back at the house, too. So great.
Great song.
It really is.
Beautiful.
You always do stunning work. You really do.
Wow.
And next we have the wonderful Melissa Fleming coming up to our stage. And let's find where Melissa
Am I
is.
unmuted?
And
Thought I just unmuted.
oh, there you are. There you are. And so, how are you, Melissa? Great to see you. Welcome, and Charlie, of course. Hang on one second. There you go. I'm gonna just mute everybody else.
It says
And
here I'm unmuted.
yep, I'm muting everybody, and now you can unmute yourself, Charlie and Melissa. And you're all unpinned, and you're
You
all.
cannot hear me.
I can hear you well. We can hear you well, Charlie. You're fine. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Did I?
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
In that case, we'll start.
Even better, we can hear Melissa.
We can hear Melissa too. Hi, Melissa. Welcome.
Don't worry, it's not Stairway to Heaven. Just now.
Charlie, you got to unmute.
Charlie, unmute.
Wait till our wedding night. That's the first and the last time I'll wear white. It won't be whiskey, it won't be meth. It'll be your name on my last breath. If divorce or death ever do us part, the coroner will call it a broken heart. Put me in the ground, put me 6 foot down, and let the stone say, here lies a girl whose only crutch was loving one man just a little too much. And if you go before I do, gonna tell the grave digger that he better dig too. If the ties that bind come loose, tie him in a knot like a hangman's noose. 'Cause I'll go to heaven or I'll go to hell before I see you with someone else. Slow. Put me in the ground and put me 6 foot down. Let the stone say, here lies a girl whose only crutch was loving one man just a little too much. And And if you go before I do, gonna tell the grave digger that he better dig too. I took your name when I took those vows. I meant him then and I mean him now, right now. If the ties that bind come loose, tie 'em in a knot like a hangman's noose. If that ring feels a little too tight, you might as well read me my last rites. And let the stone say, here lies a girl whose only crutch was loving one man just a little too much. And if you go before I do, gonna tell the grave digger that he better dig too. Great big stone right next to mine, we'll be together till the end of time. So don't you go before I do, or I'll tell the grave digger that he better dig too. I told you on the day we wed, I was gonna love you till I was dead.
All right.
Yeah.
Beautiful Melissa Fleming, everybody. My dear, it's so great to see you and to see you. And you sounded wonderful. You sounded wonderful.
Wow.
And next up in our line of wonderful, incredible performers is that other guy sitting right next to her. We actually call Charlie Ortolani our house band, for those of you who don't know. But Charlie Ortolani, you're our house band for tonight. Let's hear it for Charlie, everybody.
In the house where I was born. In the church on Sunday morn, Saturday nights round the radio, life was simple then. But this road I'm on won't take me there. You can't go back again. I wish I could take Route 78 and leave there in no time. Rest beneath the sweet gum trees, leaving all my cares behind. But Tupelo's too far. I never knew be a king, much less a star. I never knew that what I love would also break my heart. I always thought if I just sang, everything would be alright. Well, I don't know what went wrong, but I'm lonesome tonight. I wish I could take Route 78 and get there in no time. Rest beneath the sweet gum trees, leaving all my cares behind. But Tupelo's too far. Wish I could take Route 78 and get there in no time. Rest beneath the sweet gum trees, leaving all my cares behind. But Tupelo's too far. too far.
Nice one.
Beautiful, Charlie. Wow. Charlie Ortolani, everybody. And Melissa Smith.
Be back where I can hear people.
Look at that, back-to-back hits. I'm telling you, it just doesn't get any better than here at ROM.
Thank you so much.
So the night continues on a wonderful mode. Next up is going to be Jerry Mogul. Jerry, you ready to go?
I sure am.
Let me just see.
To play with this.
There, Jerry, where is Jerry? I'm sorry. Let me just find Jerry. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I didn't do what Brad suggested I do.
We were going to do that, so that's
I just not. Let me put Jerry.
I have everybody first.
Gotta find them though.
Yeah,
Gotta mute everybody first.
I'm still not finding. Okay, I'm gonna mute everybody. Jerry, you're there. Okay.
Okay. Can you all see me or hear me?
Yeah. There. Okay. There you go. I'm sorry. I did not see you.
Okay.
It's my oldness, Jerry. I'm sorry.
Okay. Can you all hear me and see me?
Yes. Now we can. It's just me.
Okay. Good. All right. So this is a song from by Leonard Cohen, and it's from the last album he did, which was called "You Want It Darker." He wrote that a few months before he died, and most of the songs were about his impending death. And this song is called "Leaving the Table." I don't know if folks know that song at all or know that album. So my version is a little bit more upbeat, but anyway, here we go. I'm leaving the table. I'm out of the game. I don't know the people in your picture frame. If I ever loved you, oh no, no, it's a crying shame. If I ever loved you, if I knew your name. You don't need a lawyer. I'm not making a claim. You don't need to surrender. I'm not taking aim. I don't need a lover. Oh no, no, the wretched beast is tame. I don't need a lover. So blow out the flame. There's nobody missing. There's no reward. Little by little, we're cutting the cord. We're spending the treasure. Oh no, no, that love could not afford. I know you can feel it. The sweetness restored. I don't need a reason for what I became. I've got these excuses, they're tired and lame. I don't need a pardon, oh no, no, there's no one left to blame. I'm leaving the table, I'm out of the game. I'm leaving the table. game. Thank you.
Beautiful, Jerry Mogul, everybody. Please do a stunning job, Jerry. Thank you so much for being with us. And next up we have Bob Uvello, and of course we're gonna say a shout out to Tracy. So we're gonna mute everybody and do the unpinning, and let's hear it for Jerry Mogul, for Bob Uvello. My mind is gone, kids. Unmute yourself, Jerry. Bob, I'm sorry.
It's,
there you go.
Not mistaken, it's the only song that I've written in 3/4 time. But I couldn't help myself. I couldn't resist in the. It's not really a chorus. I guess it's a bridge. In the bridge, I had to insert a little environmental consciousness, few words in there. Actually, just a quick story. I was on a train riding across Germany, and I happened to look out the window, and there was one of those small town carnivals, and there was a great big Ferris wheel spinning, and right behind it there were a couple of windmills that were just standing still, and something about the juxtaposition of that struck me enough to end up in the song. Anyway, this is called Calico Waltz. Dress yourself up so fine in a skirt of calico, flowers in your long dark hair and summer-colored skin. Find yourself a handsome young man, take his hand, go dancing with him. Spin them all up, you can waltz him around, make his feet come clean off the ground. Later on when the moon goes down and the sun is on the rise, tell him a tale of one who still shines behind your haunted blue eyes. Sing in the morning, dance in the rain, smile like a child when summertime's new, with hands full of flowers and stones all rolled smooth by the breathing like motion of an ocean so blue. Never you mind if the Ferris wheel spins in the heavy gray heat of a late summer day. Late summer day. Dress yourself up so fine in a skirt of calico, Flowers in your long dark hair, summer colored skin. Find yourself a handsome young man, take his hand, go dancing with him. Spin 'em all up, you can waltz him around, make his feet come clean off the ground. Later on, when the moon goes down and the sun is on the rise, tell him a tale of one who still shines behind your haunting blue eyes.
Oh, that's a beauty. That's a beauty.
Good job, Bob. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful, Bob.
Yeah.
And next, our wonderful newsletter person that does all our newsletters and everything that goes out. Let's hear it for Karen Sauer, everybody. For everybody. So, Karen, I'm going to mute everybody, then unmute yourself.
Okay.
Thank you. Karen Sauer, everybody.
And Mike also is going to unmute himself, I hope.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
That's interesting. Okay. Oh, yeah. Mike, you want to tell about this song?
Well, sure. This is a new song that Karen and I wrote. I must have heard somebody on the radio say, "Everybody must stay home," and I said, "Oh, everybody must stay home." And I kicked it over to Karen, and she wrote, 90% of it, and we went back and forth with tweaking some things, and here it is. You'll recognize the song, and it's timely, or at least it's pretty timely.
Yes.
And you start on you vamp a little bit, so I get the key.
Okay. Let's see. I never thought I'd miss my stupid job. I'm turning into such a loser slob. I sleep as late as I want to these days. I don't even change out of my PJs. I'm getting tired of being so all alone. But everybody must stay home. I watch the news and yell at the TV. Doesn't change a thing, but works for me. I use my hands to show just what I mean. Read between the lines for something quite obscene. I'm using swear words previously unknown. Everybody must stay home. Well, I'm not the type to bitch and moan.
Oh, no.
But when I see the folks who won't stay home, I ask myself, is this a matter of principle?
Oh, yeah.
Or do they think they are invincible? 'Cause scientific research has shown everybody must stay home. Every single day I wake up hoping that my favorite bar is gonna reopen. I miss going out with my honey, But anyway, I ain't got no money. This stupid virus really has me pwned. Everybody must stay home. As I eat another peanut butter sandwich, I try to Zoom and wish I had more bandwidth. I can't play any music with my friends. I think I might be going round the bend. Feels like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Everybody must stay home. All alone with nothing left to binge on. All alone with hair that makes me cringe. All alone when I dream of ice cream cones. So alone I'd even make out with my clone. I'm tired of being so all alone. Everybody must stay home. Yes, I'm tired of being so all alone. Everybody must stay home. Something like that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's cool.
Oh my God! Oh,
Awesome.
All right. Woohoo!
Tremendous. That was
Again, wow.
It was Mike's
Let's-
idea.
Let's binge watch that again.
Mike, is there any instrument you can't play with the?
I'm best playing with my. No, I'm not going to say it.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
you both
This is live on to the internet.
you both did
The zoo was awesome, Mike.
Thank you.
It was just perfect. And Karen, you did a stunning job as usual. And just so you know, Angela, Michelle, I just want to let you know,
Yeah.
I did send a picture of all of us to Anna.
Oh, Anna?
So she
Oh,
has
good.
all of us.
Good. Thank you.
Next up on our list is our one dear friend. Let's hear it for Frank Albani, everybody. Let's hear it for you. Let's see. We're going to mute all. And you're set. And, unmute yourself, Frank. And I'm going to pin you. And you're done. You're ready to go.
All right. I'm going to change the camera and turn off my speaker. Okay. So this is a song I wrote 4 or 5 years ago, and not yesterday, but a week ago, Sunday. I went to play it and I forgot how it goes. So I had to listen to it and relearn it. But this is a song called Watching It Snow. It's an instrumental.
Wow, that's pretty. That's
Hey, beautiful.
Very pretty.
Gorgeous.
Very nice.
Gorgeous.
Hey, everybody.
Very pretty.
Thank you, guys.
That's just gorgeous. Yeah.
Nice, Frank.
Thank you
Nice,
very
Frank.
much.
Oh, beautiful. And next up, we're going to have our wonderful friend. Let's hear it for Branson Bofat. And
Branson.
Oh, yes, he's done so much for all of us. And Branson, just unmute yourself, please. And go for it. Branson
How are you doing? Neil has spent every Friday night of the last month of his trying to help me make my mics work, and he heard a snippet of this past Friday. And so let's play a song for Neil tonight. What do you think? Yesterday, a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar. Fearful when the sky is full of thunder, and tearful at the falling of a star. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted pony goes up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in a circle again. Then the child moved 10 times round the season, skated over 10 clear frozen streams. Words like, when you're older, must have pleased him. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round, circle again. 16 springs and 16 summers gone down. Cartwheels, turn the car wheels through the town. tell him, take your time, it won't be long now. Till you drag your feet to circle down. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and circle again. So the years spin by, now the boy is 20. Though his dreams have blossomed grandeur coming true. There'll be blue dreams, maybe better dreams and plenty before the last revolving years come true. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle again. And go round and round and round.
Nice.
Nice, Branson.
Well done. Well done.
So much for that.
Beautiful.
Did the whole thing, Neil.
Lovely.
You did.
Really great.
Oh goodness, look who's back.
All
All
right.
right, everybody. I guess I'm going to mute you all, and then you'll have to listen to me for just a.
Wait. Let's give it up for the man, the myth, the legend, Neil Braverman.
Woo!
All right, Neil.
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 Neil
is never muted.
Neil to Neil.
Okay, let me see. Can you hear me now? Let me see. Oh, wait, I forgot I had to do something else. Wait.
You gotta mute us all.
I did mute you all. I hope you're all muted. Let me just check this 1 second. And I'm pinned. Okay, so this actually is a request. I actually played it at Ellen Schmidt's open mic last week. Oh, thank you for spotlighting me too. I did the pin thing, but oh well. So anyways, and I'm sitting on a stool, and I don't know if I'm going to fall off or not. But this was a song that I did, and I explained it at Ellen's open mic last Monday actually. And it was a song that I wrote when I was 7 years old. And for some reason it seems to have come around a little bit, and it's a little apropos for nowadays. I actually didn't write the whole thing when I was 7 years old, but we added to it as time goes on, and my mother actually helped me write it. So it's just a song, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope I can play it. But one thing that you may not know about me, a lot of you, I grew up in the city, and I grew up in what we used to call projects. I'm not sure what they're called now, or if there are any projects left. But as Allo might say, or my dear friend Don White might say, I'm not complaining. I'm just explaining. So it's but it's about my life in the city, and I've had a lot of life in the city, working for many, many years in the city, in the streets of the city, and love it every minute of it. So this is called Days of My Life. There have been days when I've looked around me. In disgust, I think I've found me. When I'm older and a man, I'll do my best to clean up this land. But to do these things, I'll need fresh air. To think of things like our county fair, of friends and foes and mixed betweens, from 7 years old to my prom queen. It'll take time to look at the world around me, and as I do, it surely will astound me to see the filth in our city life. The vandalism around us both by day and night. Seeing those broken down homes, a stranded child with no good role models to help me mold my style. I'm gonna make time to do my best. I'm not gonna run north, south, east, or west. I'll look around and do my best. I'll work to see the day when walking in the park won't be confined to day or forbidden after dark. When a little old lady and a little old man get caught in a rainstorm, holding hands, when I could smile at you and you could smile at me. Can't you just imagine how happy we would be? It's time to sweep out society, scrub it clean and make it safe and peaceful for you and me. My goal is peace right here, right now. My world city for you and me. I'll work to see that day when walking in that park won't be confined to day or forbidden after dark. When a little old lady, little old man get caught in a rainstorm, holding hands, when I could smile at you, you could smile at me. Can't you just imagine how wonderful the world can be? I'm gonna stick around and do my best. I'm not gonna run north, south, east, or west. I'm gonna stick around and do my best. Spread that love, We need to do that, love, right now. Spread that peace right now. All we know and how. Light that sky with your love, light that sky with your heart, light that sky with every being that you are.
Beautiful, Neil.
Nice,
Wow,
Neil.
nice.
Done, Neil.
The imagery.
So nice.
A great song.
Yeah, really nice.
Very nice.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me get off this stool. I get nervous on stools. Okay, stand by one. Let me get my chair.
I've played 7-year-old songs, but never a song as a 7-year-old, written as a 7-year-old.
There you go. Let me see who. So next up on our wonderful stage is going to be Angela Michelli, and let me just locate Angela and Dan. Stand by. Stand by. Stand by. Here you are. I found you. So we're gonna
Tennis racket.
mute everybody else, and let's hear it for Angela Michelli. And I'm gonna. 1 second. You are now pinned on YouTube. Angela Michelli, everybody. No vocals, Angela.
Oh, I'm unmuted?
Now you're unmuted, yes.
Okay. So this is a song I wrote a while ago. It's the title track to my third CD called Take Back the Land. And it's a song that I wrote that's an environmental song, but it's also about taking back the land. And I think it's very appropriate for now. The other thing is that I've been noticing, the planes are starting to come again. Things are revving up. And I've been actually, one of the things that I have enjoyed about this time is really taking walks and listening to the birds and just being connected to the environment. So, but this is also about taking back our land in a political sense as well. So it's called Take Back the Land. Michael puts his little arms around the waist of an old oak tree. Mama tells him, say goodbye. The clouds of fate are entering. Hugging tight, he shakes his hand. Proudly states, this tree's my friend. Mama tries to explain, we don't own the land. No, we don't own the land. No. Ah, ooh. Ah, ooh. Ah, ooh. Michael strokes the bearded vine as he climbs the old oak tree. Coyote calling to survive, transform the bull of the dozing. Vanished land of paradise. Michael turns to the thorns of the wild rose bush. Oh, we've got to fight to stay alive. Oh, we've got to fight to stay alive. metamorphose upon the roots of the old oak tree. Coyote takes the fort built from the sticks of machinery. Michael brays with mountain hole, dwindling forest he is told, nowhere to go. Take back the land, oh, take back the land, oh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, Thank you.
Beautiful, Angela.
Yeah.
Next up,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
anything like that, we're going to hear from Dan Zampino. Let's hear it for Dan Zampino, everybody. I'm going to mute.
Hey, Dan.
Stand by.
Angela.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, kids. 1 second. Okay, I'm going to mute everybody and unmute yourself, Dan.
All right, I think I'm on.
Yep.
Okay. This is in the category of things that must be said. It's a story. Because of the hour of the phone call, 5:30 in the morning, I should have known that something terrible had happened, even if I couldn't accept what I was hearing. Early June morning, Beacon Hill, Boston, and already in the air was the feeling of torpor, like some precedent to the end of the world. Sweat was streaming down my forehead, and I didn't know if I was tangling with tears. The din of the waking city could be heard. The slope of the outdoor Beacon Hill street side seemed to accentuate, as if to tell me that the world had gotten even more out of balance. Talking to me over the phone was Marilyn, girlfriend to John, the wannabe writer, and a good friend to Marshall. Except that Marshall, the New Yorker, had infuriated Marilyn to no end with his castigations of the way that she, a Massachusetts native, had accentuated her words, hounding her as he did for pronouncing the word potato, as many of the natives of this region did. The early morning call, which I had intercepted, had been intended for Marshall and not for me, which meant that Marilyn was showing that she, despite Marshall's insults, and like everyone else that Marshall seemed to know, appreciated that he could be lovable even when he was infuriating. But the tone in Marilyn's voice was somber. Her words were deliberate, direct, and unvarnished. John, her boyfriend, could be heard making noises in the background. She spoke her somber words quickly. Bobby Kennedy's been shot, she said over the phone, but in words that seemed to get louder the more that she said what she said. It was as if she'd been sitting next to me on the couch in our apartment living room, or the front room, the apartment I shared with Marshall. He stared across from me on the other side of the room. Marilyn's early morning phone call had rustled him out of bed. Because of the mugginess in the torpid air, he was dressed only in a blanket. With his huge body, he looked slightly comical. I repeated Marilyn's words, and then repeated, "They don't expect him to live." Over the phone, I asked Marilyn how it happened, and she told me that the night that he was shot, right after he had made his victory speech at the Los Angeles hotel. That means that he won, I thought, defeating Eugene McCarthy in the California primary. And with slowness, I realized that something even more shattering had happened, since Bobby Kennedy might have become the next president and put a prompt end to the war in Vietnam. When I gave Marshall the message, his face seized up. In an instant, he was holding back tears. He turned pale white with a tinge of green. He absorbed my words like bitter grain. I said again what I had said, certain
Certain I didn't look any better than he did. Outside later that morning, people stalked the city streets in a daze. It was a daze we had learned as a nation to live through as a kind of macabre ritual. It had been 2 months since Bobby Kennedy, brother to the assassinated president, had taken up upon his steely shoulders the Atlas burden of telling a crowd of supporters as he ran for president that Martin Luther King had been shot. Everyone was aghast. The June sky had brightened when later that morning, the morning of the second assassination, the Robert Kennedy assassination, I made my Mecca pilgrimage to my college campus, where I spotted Charles, the black student from Utica. Charles had been the diehard Kennedy follower who believed in his candidate's mission, even if I had told him my doubts. I held less of a belief in electoral politics than he. I was more inclined to support Gene McCarthy's bid since the senator from Minnesota had been a poet and was willing, when no one else would, to take on the great behemoth himself, Lyndon Johnson. I admired what Charles was trying to do. By the spring of '68, there weren't many black students who had surrendered their faith to either the Democrats or the Republicans. But Charles was different. He wore a suit and tie to class when everyone else wore loose shirts, chinos, and let their hair droop over their ears, or else conditioned it to sprout into froze. He insisted that power lay in support of elected officials. Charles was something of an oddity, but he was also persuasive, as he had gotten me to hear him out. By his student skillfulness, he had cajoled out of me only the day before the promise of surrendering my support, quixotic, he argued, for Gene McCarthy if Kennedy would win California, which he did. But then Kennedy was shot. That terrible day, juxtaposed to the day before, turned Charles bitter. The bitterness was embedded in the look on his face. He stood near me and stared past me. Today, the sweaty June afternoon was solemn. Kennedy's got the name to get himself elected, Charles had insisted the day before. I thought of you as soon as I heard the news, I said to Charles when I saw him on campus. He looked as if he had lost his dearest uncle. You're the first person I thought of, I said again, and saw his eyes well up. Mine did too, as if the dying man had been my uncle as much as Charles, forgetting that I wasn't a Kennedy supporter. We communed in a kind of grief, even if he was more the deserving nephew. The black student from Utica, so articulate the day before when we last talked, so confident his man was on his way to the presidency and that the war in Vietnam would fast be coming to an inglorious end, had been robbed of his speech. His enthusiasm was gone. His dream of whatever he had wanted to accomplish, maybe even a career in politics, was over. There was nothing left for him, for me, for the nation, except to relive the fear, the loathing, and worry of what we had experienced again and again. It took a day for Bobby Kennedy to die. But before we learned of it, John, Marshall's friend, boyfriend to Marilyn, and wannabe writer, stood in the center of our kitchen of our Grove Street apartment and expressed his wish that the dead man should live, even if he conceded that the dying candidate would probably be a vegetable. This way we could be reminded, John said. Reminded of what? I shouted. Better that he die, I screamed, more than a little crazed. I screeched like a buzzsaw. John seemed wary of my temper. The train ride of the assassinated man's body back from Los Angeles to Washington was anticlimactic. Let the dead bury the dead, I said to myself. The deed was done. With Bobby Kennedy's removal, politics, as we had learned from school civics, had died a violent death. There was nothing left to replace it. Emptiness of terror filled just about everyone I knew. Thank you.
All right, Dan.
That was a chapter from a long unpublished manuscript. It was called Assassination Spring, and it also deals with with the King assassination as well as some standoffs. And I thought it was appropriate to read some of this, considering what happened this week and what's been happening over the last several weeks. We're back in 1968 again, I guess.
Yeah, exactly our song as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Every day gets better, Dan, and to all of us. We've got a little bit of a schedule change because number 19 was open, and I've got this wonderful person that I'd like to introduce all of you to because I don't think any of you have met her before.
I don't want to just see everybody.
She's coming to us from Boulder, Colorado. She's my dear new friend, Shanna in a Dress. So let's hear it for Shanna in a Dress. And let me meet you all. And then
She go to us, not
please. And let me make sure I pin you so you're on YouTube. You are done. Shanna in a Dress, everybody.
Hello, Dan. That was amazing. I hope you publish that because that, I think, needs to be shared with the world. Thanks for having me, you guys. You guys seem like a really nice community, and I've liked everything I've heard so far. This is going to be a big topic change from what we just heard, but I wanted to share with you a song I wrote about how to turn on a woman. Oh, baby. Last night was so good. You were incredible. I can still picture it all right now. The way you brought in the groceries. The way you took out the trash. The way you remembered to feed the cat. Then you unloaded the dishwasher. And when I got home from work, you had dinner on the table. I wanted you for dessert. Oh, I don't need a man with a face like bread, George Clooney's hair or Channing Tatum's abs, sporting a Rolex and a Cadillac. I like it if you look like you would be a good dad. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. So hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. I like your dad bod. And oh, I can feel it. It's so hard and so smooth. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. You finally sanded the table in the living room. Then I got hot and bothered when you answered my text right away. Then I got really tired. And you said those magic words, okay, not today. Oh, I don't need a man with a face like bread, George Clooney's hair or Channing Tatum's abs, sporting a Rolex and a Cadillac. I said I like it if you look like you would be a good dad. Yeah, that's hot. That's hot. This is the sing-along part. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. I like your dad bod, and I love how I don't have to babysit you at parties. 'Cause ladies, we all know that's the worst. They say nice guys finish last, and they're right. You always let me come first. Woo! I don't need a man with a face like bread. That's the best line I've ever written in a song. Sporting a Rolex and a Cadillac. Yeah, I like it if you look like you would be a good dad. Sing it. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. So hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. I like your dad bod.
Yay! Thank you.
Hey.
That was wonderful.
That's very hot.
Very nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how it's done.
All right.
And thanks to Don White is how Shanna and I met. And thank you so much for coming in. I know
Thank you.
as long as you can stay, please do. But next up on our list is, I believe, it's going to be Michael Breyer, and along with his wonderful wife Marilyn. So, Michael, we're going to mute all, and then you have to unmute yourself, Michael, okay? And then you'll be all set. Let's hear it from Michael Breyer, everybody, and Marilyn. Unmute yourself, Michael.
Hi, folks. Here's an Irish tune called The Maid Behind the Bar.
Thank you very much. Very much. Great job, Michael.
Nice job, Mike.
Thanks for being there, Marilyn, as well. We can see you. We can see you. What I'd like to do right now is just take a minute for a poem that was not written by me. Some of you may not know the person who is the director of the school that gave us a home when Rom didn't have a home, at the Boston School of Music, the Boston School of English. I'm talking about music here. Let me see, where is that thing? So what I would like to do is read a poem that Sandra Vasquez wrote. And I think it's very timely as well. She did tell me that she's not by any means a writer. She wrote this last year, and I hope my pronunciation is correct, when I did the Camino de Santiago, a 500+ mile hike from France to Santiago de Compostela in Spain. So a 500+ mile hike that she took for a cause.
Wow.
The title of the poem is called Die to the Past. If I had a face, if I simply look at you straight, would I feel you? If I feel you, if I let you in deep enough, would you hurt me? If I let you hurt me, if I intentionally and voluntarily allow you to take over, would you free me? Would you remove my bars, open the doors, remove my walls? If you free me, would you lay me down asleep? Would you gently close my eyes? Would you caress me with rose petals or thorns? Would I let go? Would I take my last breaths? Would I take my last breaths? Would I fight for you? Would I fight for you? Would I take my last breath? By Sandra Vasquez.
Oh.
Thank you very much. I have not seen, is Jim McKenna in the house? Let me just check. I have not seen Jim McKenna.
Doesn't look like it.
Jim is not in the house. So next up is going to be our very famous number 23. Hi, it's going to be Mel Green, everybody. Let's hear it for Mel Green.
Hello, everybody.
See you. Mute you all, and Mel, you'll have to unmute yourself, and then
Okay.
Mel Green.
Let's see if mute. Unmute. Yes. Hi, everybody. Nice to see
Hey,
you
Mel.
all.
Welcome.
I'd like to sing a song I wrote for my wife ages ago when I met her, and it just sat on paper as lyrics for a long time, and that came together about a year ago. Cheryl has heard this, but anyway, you don't believe you have, so here goes. Okay, it's called "At Last, Love." Drifting through life, trouble and strife, like an aimless leaf in a river, knowing not where and devil may care where the current may take you, floating along with the unending song of the whole wide world forever. Whirling midstream in a recurrent dream, with nobody there to awake you. With the light from above, a life search for love may suddenly come and embrace you. Till the years pass you by, you wonder why no one was there to take you. Reconciled and alone, you wander from home to a place where nobody knows you. Then one day by surprise you look into the eyes of the one who has come to save you. And so life as you know it must change, and so it does when you realize this truth. Prayers made long ago were heard, and the one you have yearned for you must choose. A choice must be made, or a price will be paid for another mistake in the making. So with grace and with truth, with memories of youth, a wish you once thought might have been wasted. And so you fall into the arms of the one who you love, and who forever you have waited. No more drifting through life, no more trouble and strife, like an aimless leaf in a river.
That's a
Beautiful,
nice song.
Mel.
Thank
Mel
you very
Green.
much.
Beautiful song, Mel. Beautiful.
Lovely.
Thank you. Good to see you all.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, Mel. This is great. We haven't seen you in so long.
Yeah, I was thinking about
Fantastic, Mel.
Yeah, that was great. That was next up to our show is our very dear friend that Mel mentioned, and an incredible poet, spoken word artist, Cheryl Perrault, everybody. And Cheryl, you have to unmute yourself, if you would, please. And let me make sure I pin you. And
right.
You're all set. Thank you.
Thank you, and it's good to hear everyone. I picked this spoken word poem that I wrote quite a while ago because I thought it addresses the importance of expressing care and love for one another. I thought it would be a good time to share this during our pandemic time as we look at the way that we express our love in different ways from afar. And even more so in these times we are now facing, addressing racial injustice in our country and our world. So I send this out to everyone, to our country and to our world. And it's called The Touch. Sometimes my father would come in my room at night, tousle my hair, call me his good little girl. All he could tell through hands hardened by his life. But I knew he was thinking, I love you. When he'd swim hugs to me with eyes of crystal blueness, I knew he was saying, I love you. But over time, the only words I heard him ever tell me were, we love each other, we just don't show it well. So I grew up with my heartstrings barely showing, being shy with my own words and arms to ever tell. Meeting my husband in my later years of growing, who was shy with his own ways, conveying love as well. Until we leaned into each other, learning together to say, I love you with more than just our eyes. Hands and arms and souls joining our love vows, embracing and unlocking wedded ties. Later trying not to follow lifelong patterns after the newness of love begins to wear, like a kitten who first gets too much attention, only to sit idle in a chair in later years. In raising children, the urge to touch expanded, unable to resist the feel of tiny lives, pulse of downy heads, smooth mold of cheeks, soft backs puffing tiny jet streams of sleep. touching to impart my sense of wonder at these small beings showing such largeness of our lives. And although they are now quickly growing, I still use my hands and arms to hug and guide and hold on tightly whenever I'm permitted, since now they've become self-conscious by Father Time. Still, I just tell them I can't resist these mother hugs and kisses, because I wish to show more than just I love you with just my eyes. And later in my life, I have grown closer to the magic of the touch of love and all it brings. With friends I've met and known along my life course, grabbing hold their hands or arms for an embrace, to feel them deep through skin and heart and being, to feel the primal pulse of their deep soul, to never let connections start to weaken, to let them know I'll never let them go. And I carry this all with me now, knowing the magic of the touch I've found along the way, as I look into the eyes of friends and family, and my father with his eyes now turning gray. Swimming hugs out to them all with eyes now showing, while offering my words and arms as well, to show what in our life is often buried, like old forgotten treasure within us all. Hoping to no longer keep my distance, aware of the short time we all have here, with eyes and ears and arms that will now listen, as I feel content hearing my own words say, we love each other. I hope I show it well. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.
So much.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Really beautiful. You need to touch and be close. Thank you.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Cheryl always does that, and Cheryl runs a wonderful program on Friday nights, 7 p.m. Cheryl, you want to give a quick shout out about your show and what might be upcoming?
Unmute, Cheryl.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, unmute. Yeah.
It's it just formed with the time of the quarantine. So it's Friday nights until the end of June at this point, 7 to 8. It's on Zoom and goes live stream and then goes to YouTube, thanks to HCAM Studios. And I invite a couple guests to talk about their art of poetry, or if last week was film or writing, as well as songwriters. For a half hour each to share a little art and to also talk a bit about the creative process and what's going on now. Thank you, Neil.
And I'm a Cheryl Perel junkie. I every Friday as best I can. I only missed one, and they've all been fabulous. Cheryl, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining.
Oh, it's great. Well, next up we have our webmaster galore, as along with his wonderful wife Carol. And let me find you. There you are. So let's hear from Mike Williams and Carol. I'm not sure if Carol's playing tonight, but I'm gonna mute everybody. Oh, let me see. Let me get back to my. I'm so bad at this. Let me mute everybody, and then you'll have to unmute yourself, Mike. Okay, and go for it.
Okay, yes, Carol will be playing with me on piano. And by the way, I love that piece by Cheryl. I just love everything I've heard from her so far.
Can you make a volume a little higher, Mike?
I might just need to get a little closer because I'm just going totally with the laptop sound. Can you hear that okay?
Yeah, that's better than it was, yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
I'll try to sing loud. This is a song called Things to Remember. It's a little gem by Willie Nelson, I think one of the earliest songs he wrote back when he went to Nashville and was under contract. And so I heard it for the first time recently, just really liked it and thought that we could do that tonight. So it's called Things to Remember. Tried so much lately, I've made a list of things to remember, things to forget, but my mind can't separate the joy from regret. I always remember the things to forget, things to remember, the day that we met, the day we parted, things to forget. Well, why won't my heart let me do it this way with just things to remember today? I've cried so much lately that I made out a list of things to remember, things to forget. But my mind just can't separate the joy from regret. I always remember the things to forget, things to remember, plans that were set, plans didn't work out, things to forget. Well, why won't my heart let me do it this way with just things to remember today? Why won't my heart let me do it this way with just things to remember today?
Hey, beautiful Mike and Carol, thank you
Very
so
good.
much. Well, I have one moment. I do want to let everybody know to please. Mike does such a fabulous job on our website, but please refer to it as often as you can, as well as to Karen's email, because as we can tell with everything around us in life, things are changing almost momentarily. So we had a couple issues this week where we changed to the sign up Genius, which I think went pretty smoothly. We had just a couple of glitches, and
I think so.
but all went well. And I just want to thank Mike Williams and Karen Sauer again for doing a fabulous job of getting the word of Rosdale. Always are, and of course my dear partner Mike Delaney and everybody that's a part of this community. It's just so wonderful. I love you all. And we're gonna end tonight's show with a wonderful presentation by another co-host of tonight. Let's hear it for John McHugh, everybody.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Where is that John kind of guy? There he is. I found him. And let me mute everybody and pin you, John. And you're on YouTube live with everybody. And you are a go for John.
Good.
Let's hear it.
Good.
You're good.
Thank you all for staying, everybody.
Hey, we heard you were last, so we had to stay. You know,
I appreciate it. Well, as befits this is an Irish song of farewell, and it's the last song of the night. This is called The Parting Glass. Of all the money that ever I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that ever I done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Of all the comrades that ever I had, we're sorry I should go away. And all the sweethearts that ever I had would wish me spend another day. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and I'll softly call, good night and joy be with you all. Oh, if I had money enough to spend, and leisure time to sit a while, but there's a fair maid in this town, whose beauty has my heart beguiled. Her rosy cheeks, her ruby lips, I own she has my heart enthralled. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all.
beautiful, John.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a good ending.
Wow. That was really sweet.
Thank you.
Really great.
To one and all, thank you for another great vROM. Our virtual ROM is moving along, and we're learning more each week and each time. And so this is officially the end of this virtual ROM, and I can't thank you enough for coming, all of you, for the distances you've traveled. And
Thank you, Neil.
I so pray that we can be together in person sometime soon. Just remember our next virtual ROM will be on June 22nd, which of course is a Monday. And if anybody wishes to stick around and just chat, have any suggestions of what we could do right or change, I'm open to that. But I know some of you have a long distance to drive.
Neil, if I may, I didn't hear you plug the Roslindale Food Pantry.
Oh, yes.
And on behalf of Neil, I'd like to, if anyone cares to make a donation to the Roslindale Food Pantry, the address is 25 Cummins Highway, Roslindale, Mass. 02131.
God love you, Frank.
Frank, you're the best.
Yeah, and that you are right. And before we all go, I want to thank one and all. It was the one where we had Don White do the fundraiser 2 days ago. The money is still coming in from all of you, and I cannot thank you enough for the monies that the food pantry has made, and it is still coming in. And it's also, if you do Venmo, which I'm not real big at, but if you prefer to use Venmo, if you do go to Venmo and just search Rosendale Food Pantry, they have an account there that my daughter Barbara set up. So thank you, Frank, for reminding me, because I did forget that. But it's an ongoing thing. The crowds still are coming. We do need more food. We do need more of everything, like everywhere. But thank you to one and all. Like I said, if anybody has to go, I understand it. Thank you both. Charlie and Melissa, you were wonderful together. So great.
Thank you, everybody. It's so good to see and hear you. It's so good to see everyone.
Yeah, it was a great evening.
Good to hear everyone.
Everyone was
Thank you,
wonderful.
Neil.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you, Neil, and everybody.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Karen, what does it say on your shirt?
What's that?
What does it say on your shirt, Karen?
Karen.
Me? Oh, Karen?
Yeah.
It says speak
Oh, okay.
and stand up.
Hey, Sue, it's great to see you.
Yeah, thanks. Great to be here. Great to see everyone.
Sue is the
Hear
big
everyone.
of everybody. So
Thanks, Neil. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Neil. Thank
See you
you.
next time.
Thank you, Neil.
Everybody. Take care.
anybody else want to chat, just stay on and I'll stay on. But
You know,
okay.
I just want to
If
add
the rest
one
says
little
leave,
thing. I
go
just
ahead,
made it.
John.
I made a donation, very small, less than $50.
Thank
I'm
you,
not going to say
Neil.
how much it was,
Thanks,
but I
Andrew.
got a nice
That's
note
all.
from the food pantry that
Or
said
put the
your
right
donation
side.
fed
See where it says leave?
it made 200 meals, and I couldn't
Wow.
believe that just a small donation was worth 200 meals.
Yes, when my wife my wife is the director of the Rosendale Food Pantry, Rosemary, and she when she goes to the Greater Boston Food Bank, um, just like you said, just a small amount of money gets she I believe she said it was 41,000 pounds of food that she got for May,
Wow.
and June is
Wow.
more than that. So and she does a lot of it on her own too. So it's just amazing what she does, and my daughter's her backup, and it's just amazing what they do. But and it's back
Neil,
in the old.
It is
post the
amazing.
address where we can send donations.
I'm sorry.
You post the address where we can send donations instead of doing it online. Can you post the address?
It's on the website.
It's right. It actually is actually right on the website, Marilyn. On our, you know how to get to our website on the email, right? It's just www.rosendaleopenmic.org,
Okay.
and everything's right on the top. And thanks to Mike Williams. So, and it's also in the newsletters as well. So, thanks again to everybody, um, and you all come back now here.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Good night, everybody. Be
Good night.
well.
Good night.
We'll see you again soon.
Take care. Thanks for everything.
Good night, all.
Stay
Take care.
healthy.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Parting is such sweet sorrow.
I know, isn't it so? Good night, my dears.
Good night, Ethan.
Bye bye.